Oh my god, we're gonna be starting the Ace Attorney investigations. I have been waiting for this game for so goddamn long. I've seen snippets of it, like pictures when the old version, and when it was like when it told Nintendo that the trailer I saw, I literally screamed. I was like, no way, this is happening. And as you all know, I love the Ace Attorney, like the whole series as a whole, and this is the latest you're going to be hearing from me. I finished the Great Ace Attorney, and I have a lot of feelings, all of them positive, but yeah, I was a mess. But I'm so excited to start a new one because I was like missing the Ace Attorney like games after Great Ace Attorney, and we have Miles Edgeworth. I thought it was Miles Edgeworth the game, not Ace Attorney Investigations. And I think I still prefer Miles Edgeworth the game. But okay, I'm so excited. It's going to be a completely different spin from what I've seen because you get to walk around. Oh my god. Oh wait, let me just start. Okay, okay, there's two games. Okay, there's 1 and 2. I'm so excited. Okay, new game. Okay, this is a pixel art. I remember seeing pictures of this. But we're going to be doing the HD one because he looks so cute. So I gotta do the HD one. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Well, here we go. HD. Start from this episode? Yes. Turnabout Visitor. I think even the trilogy started with a turnabout. The word turnabout is used a lot. March 14, 1:16 a.m. Question mark, question mark? To make sure the defendant is found guilty, what other choice do I have? That's the job of a prosecutor, after all. That may be true, but why? Oh? Why go this far? Who is that? Oh? They don't look like Miles Edgeworth. Sorry, maybe I wasn't clear enough, but a guilty verdict is all that matters to me. Ooh! No matter what the cost. Bam! Oh! Dude, Edgeworth has been blamed for being the culprit so many times. Also, again, we're showing the fucking culprit in the beginning. That's the Ace Attorney classic. I'm a prodigy among prosecutors. Always have been, always will be. Oh, you're a prosecutor. What the fuck? Why are you killing people? March 14 to 5 a.m. to prosecute this building, 12th floor, hallway. It's hard to believe that I've been away from my office for a whole month. Is the Ace Attorney Investigations game after the Ace Attorney trilogy? I don't know. I think so. I hope Detective Gumshoe has been keeping an eye on my office and keeping it clean. I really don't know. The door is unlocked. Detective Gumshoe? What's the smell? It's very familiar. Blood? Oh no. We're gonna be blamed for murder again. Oh! What the? I love the expressions already. What's the meaning of this? Freeze! Huh? Who the hell is this? Identify yourself. Shut up! You've got some nerve committing murder in a prosecutor's office. Oh! Is that a threat? Let me make one thing very clear. What? No one gets away with committing murder in my office. No one. Let's go! He's backing up. But we're gonna be accused of murder. My name is Miles Edgeworth, and I work as a prosecutor in my local district. Little did I know that upon my return home after a month abroad, I would be thrusted into a multitude of cases and some very frantic and busy days. Ooh, March 14, 2:56 a.m. High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202. Oh, dude, I'm so excited. I finished photographing the victim's body, sir. Very well. Please continue investigation. Yes, sir. Okay, you're not gonna be accused this time. Ah! Mr. Edward, sir, are you okay, sir? Gumshoe, oh my god, he looks so good. Keep it down, detective. This is a crime scene. When I heard that a murder had taken place in your office, I ran up here straight away. This is Dick Gumshoe, the detective with the local precinct, and the one they assigned to handle this murder case for the time being. You're looking a little pale, sir. Are you hurt? No, I'm perfectly fine. However... look what they did to your office. It's totally trashed. He's stomping like a thing. I say the culprit sullied my floor with dirt rather well. No one gets away with tracking mud into my office. Oh, sounds like you're getting really burned up over this whole thing. This crime was committed in my office, so it is my responsibility to solve it. Oh, that's just like you, Mr. Edgeworth. Okay, time to do some investigating. Agreed, our first course of action is to gather relevant facts and leads. Oh, I love the music in this game. We must not overlook anything, no matter how small, if we are to find the truth. So I'll keep any leads or information we find etched in the forefront of my mind. Speaking of things that pique my curiosity, why of all places did the murder occur in my office? Crime scene in my office. Is it really a coincidence that the murder took place in my office? They were trying to blame it on you. I get the nagging feeling that this is something important to keep in mind. Okay. Yeah, I was wondering that myself, sir. I mean, you can't really say it's just a coincidence, can you? No, not really. Especially because of this. The key to your office? For security reasons, this office door has a lock built into it. How the hell did it get the key? What do you mean, sir? If you think about it carefully and use logic, it should become clear to you. Logic? By finding the connection between two pieces of information and connecting them, new information is born. That is the end result of using logic. So how do you use it? Come true. First, I recall the information we've gathered with LB. Okay, and then I connect them together with Y. LB and Y. Now to use LB and recall the facts. Ooh. Crime scene? My office. Is it a coincidence that took place in my thing? Okay, so we gotta connect them together. And let's connect. Okay, this is gonna be so fun. It's not like the usual. For security reasons, all prosecutors' doors are outfitted with locks. Which means it would have been hard for the murderer and the victim to get in here. Ergo, it's impossible to dismiss the location of this crime as mere coincidence. Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking, sir. There must be a reason why someone infiltrated my room. What was the killer after? Why did this happen in my office? What was the killer after? You're really on the ball today, Mr. Edgeworth. That's some beautiful logic, sir. Yes, well, when you follow leads to the conclusion, only the truth remains. However, if the information doesn't line up properly, I may stray far from the truth as well. But if I think carefully before piecing leads together, the logic should follow. Okay, it should flow, sorry. Well, let's get started with our investigation, shall we? Yes, sir. Begin investigation. High Prosecutor's Offices, Room 1202. The basis of any good investigation is to examine everything, sir. I know that, and when I want to examine something, I simply use A when I'm next to it. Oh, if you ever feel lost and want to talk, just use Y, okay? I'll give you great precise advice as an ace investigator, sir. Huh? Something to try later if I have free time, I suppose. Why? You called, sir? Notice anything? Is there anything you noticed that you'd like to share, Detective Gumshoe? Just that I rushed over here as soon as I heard there was a murder in your office, sir. Investigation's just gotten started, so I guess there's not much else to say. So, were you the one that found the body, Mr. Edgeworth? Unfortunately, upon my return, I found my office door to be unlocked. And what awaited me inside was this whole messy affair. Oh, I love this, what do you call these? This sprite of him doing like this. Ouch, that's rough. Even though I left the security of this room to a certain detective. Sorry, sir. About investigating. I assume you understand how to conduct investigations, Detective Gumshoe. Of course, sir. Examine anything and everything with A. By checking various things out, we can gather all sorts of evidence and information. You can see the evidence we've collected with RB. For information and lead with LB. Okay. That's right. That's it. Great job, sir. Detective Reasonable is the way to go. It's called deductive reasoning. Detective, clearly something you lack. Okay, we're going back. Let's talk. Oh, no, I didn't want to talk to you. Sorry. Do you have anything to report? Sir, yes sir. Nothing out of the ordinary right now, sir. And yet there's something out of the ordinary right in front of my eyes. Talk about a contradiction. Something out of the ordinary, huh? I should look around a bit more. There's a gun literally in front of this guy. And he's fucking useless. Let's talk to this guy. How is it coming along? Please, I need absolute silence. Fingerprint lifting is a delicate art. Well, I never. Okay, let's check the sofa. I hope we can solve this case quickly. I'd like to return to relaxing on the sofa. That thing looks like a billion times softer than my mattress at home. Can I sit on it too, just for a little while, sir? Detective Gumshoe, you know I can't allow that. Until this case is solved, neither of us has time to spare, let alone rest. You're right, sir. I'm gonna work hard and be a real trooper to the end. Even once this case is over, I don't think he can afford to take any time off. Okay, Mr. Gunn, what's up? What have we here? Could this perhaps be the murder weapon? If so, it would mean that the killer made their escape after disposing of their gun here. I think I've seen one of these before. Care to enlighten me as to where? Oh, I know! I was issued the exact same model, I think. Detective. I don't really like guns all that much. I mean, they're really dangerous. But now that I think about it, you do see this model around the precinct a lot, sir. I don't use mine much, except in emergencies, so that's why I didn't recognize it. So it's the same type of revolver as the one used by this precinct's detectives. Found at the crime scene, it's the same model as was used by precinct detectives. Okay, nice. Let's check this. Ouch, they even knocked over your chess set. I had it all set up ready for when you got back. I figured we could play a few games. I had no idea you were interested in chess. No, he isn't. I'm actually pretty good at checkers, so I thought I'll give chess a try. In that case, I suppose I can set some time aside after we solve this case. So I don't expect the games to tax my mental acuity much. Dude, he just fucking... Okay, what is this? Okay, let's check this. They finished photographing the body, so it should be alright to examine this area. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious nook and cranny. Suspicious looking nook and cranny. Okay, there's this. What do we have here? Hey, I think I've seen one of those before. It's a police badge, detective. Oh hey, I have the exact same thing actually. What a coinky-ding. Let's take a look inside. Buddy Faith. Detective, Mr. Buddy Faith. It would appear that the victim was a detective, just like you. Okay. So we could probably say like the gun and the police thing, we could get it together. I seem to have gathered a few pieces of pertinent information. Now to calmly use some logic and figure out if any of them are connected to each other. I'll do that in a while. Let me just check everything. Let's see here. There's blood all over his lower abdominal area. It looks like the bullet passed clean through his stomach area, sir. In other words, he was shot. Yep, and until the autopsy is done, I don't think we'll know much more than that. Please have the body sent to the morgue once they're done processing the crime scene. Bullet went clean to the victim's abdomen. The body was found at 2:05 a.m. Okay, nice. Are you going to be okay with keeping track of the evidence we find, sir? Of course, this is the safest way I know to keep track of it all. Alright, if you say so. I keep all the evidence I find either in or with my organizer. When I want to re-examine a piece, I have but to press RB to open my organizer. The organizer isn't only for evidence, I keep people's profiles on hand in it too. It's probably a good idea to make a habit of checking the facts often. Okay. Okay, the hand. Okay, there's something written here. I don't believe it! I packed those files on the shelves so tight that not even an earthquake could make them fall off, but just look at them. At this rate, the rest of the files won't be able to withstand an earthquake at all. A problem to be sure. Well, once the investigation is over, we'll put them back up on the shelf. But there's something written here. Gumshoe? Gumshoe? Your files are all over the floor, sir. They probably fell during the struggle between the victim and his killer. My files are a mess, pointing to a struggle between the victim and the killer. Oh, and I tried so hard to keep this place spotless while you were away. I mean, this just rendered all the time. An effort I put in oh my god, I put in pointless. I don't recall ever asking you to clean my room. Well, I watered the flowers every day, just like you requested, sir. I just added cleaning to the list as a weekend special. For about half a day, every Saturday, I come in and clean this place until it sparkles. Dude, I wish I had a friend who would clean, but obviously Gumshoe could make things worse. Does he have a life? Okay, I think that's enough. Oh, watch out for the teacup fragments there, sir. The killer is going to pay. This tea set. Yikes, you're really mad over this. This tea set is very dear to my heart and can only be bought in England. It costs more than your whole month's paycheck. But what? Now I feel like the killer's wasted one of my monthly paychecks. Okay, we check this. Oh, this is the king of prosecutors thing. Oh, it's your trophy, the knight of prosecutors, right? King of prosecutors. King of prosecutors. It's not a trophy, it's a shield. They only send this to the winning prosecutor, right? Yes, but I have no real interest in the perceived worth of other people. As for my own worth, that is something only I can determine for myself. Let's go! So true. That's so slick, sir. I'm gonna have to try saying that sometime. Unfortunately for him, his monetary worth is tied directly to his worth to me. Okay, samurai, my samurai. Well, it's a good thing my steel samurai doll was spared any harm. Speaking of which, I still haven't actually sat down and watched any of that show. What's it about again? Well, I don't know much about it myself, but the hero of the Steel Samurai, warrior of Neo Old Tokyo, is the Steel Samurai, and his goal is to defeat the evil magistrate. It's a show geared towards kids. However, its high production values and riveting plot draws in a number of adults as well. Spin-offs like Pink Princess, Warrior of Little Old Tokyo, and the Nickel Samurai, oh I remember all these. Along with the deluge of merchandise, and even as a new stage show gives it presence, you're definitely a fan. You sure know a lot. Are you sure you're not some sort of rabid fanboy? Of course not. Anyone that keeps up in society knows at least this much. And that conversation lasted longer than expected. Let us return to the investigation. Okay, we've done this. What is this? Is this yet another batch of fresh flowers? The ones that come with a card attached every month like clockwork for you? Yup. Speaking of that, let's see what's on the card this month, sir. All will be resolved. Wendy. Oh, it's Wendy, old bag. Oh, Miss Irony, how painful are thy thorns. Wendy, isn't that the name of that old lady with the whiny voice that's talk? That's enough, detective, you need not remind me further. Oh my god. I love Wendy, but Wendy is so funny though. Okay, let's check my desk. It's been a while since I sat at this desk. I have missed you. So tiny that it looks newer than when I first bought it. Oh, yeah, that thing's so polished that it makes mirrors jealous. Don't tell me you had no other work the entire time I was away, detective. My job is to protect your office, sir. And you did such a good job protecting it that a murder occurred in it. That's harsh, sir. I have to admit the desk has never looked better, so I guess I can't dock his pay. Okay, let's do some logic stuffy. Why did this happen in my office? What was the killer after? No, that's not the goal. A revolver found at the crime scene is the same model as those used by precinct detectives. Okay, let's put this. And the victim was a detective. According to his badge and ID, by fate of the precinct detective. Connect. Nice! The revolver, the standard model used by detectives, could it have belonged to our recently departed? Detective Gumshoe, could you please thoroughly check the victim's body one more time? Yes, sir. On it now, sir. Excuse me, pal. Let's see. What have you got here? Mr. Edgeworth, sir. The guy's wearing a gun holster. So it appears that our killer somehow managed to take the victim's gun from him. We assume that this gun is the murder weapon. It was issued to the victim. Let's see what else we can find about this revolver. As I always say, you've got to look really carefully at each piece of evidence. You can use RS to locate an object. There's no such thing as a bad angle. Okay, got it. Looks like only one round was fired from this. Wow, so the killer killed the victim with just one shot after wresting the gun from him? Sounds like the guy knew how to handle a gun, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? We have no proof for now, but that is a distinct possibility. I guess this is about all we're going to find out. We should send the body to atop. Jim! Oh, why? How could this happen to a guy like you? You are the murderer too. Are you alright? Don't touch me. Leave me alone. Just let me be. Sorry, but I can't do that. The investigation is still ongoing, so please refrain from touching the body. The body? The body? Don't talk about him like he's just some lump of flesh. Shut the fuck up. Look at him. Jim looks like he's just turned in for the night. I'm sure it's just in a blood-stained suit, pal. Where are my manners? Aren't you that prosecutor? Why, yes, I am. I'm Jack Sportsman. Okay, sportsman. It's prosecutor. Jim here was my partner in crime busting. I'm Miles Edgeworth, and like you, I'm also a prosecutor. Detective Dick Gumshoe, sir. So you're Miles Edgeworth. I guess this is your office. Yes, that is correct. Then it was you. You're the one who killed Jim. Hey, don't go around jumping to conclusions, pal. Just calm down, okay? I will not. I know how things work around here. The moment someone starts accusing someone, that means you're the killer. High prosecutor's office doors all have locks built into them, and only the owner of the office has the key to his or her own office door. That is correct. However, I was not the one who killed your partner. Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth has been overseas on a business trip this whole time, pal, and the key to the door was with me the entire time, okay? So the only one who could get in here was me. Ho ho ho. No, wait, that means... No, you're not the murderer. I'm not sure what that means. So it was you then. You're Jim's killer. No, wait, pal. You've got it all wrong. Everyone, calm down. Mr. Portsman, correct? If you're a real prosecutor, you should know to stay collected. The investigation has only just begun. Isn't it too early to be drawing conclusions? Alright, I get the point. You're right, my mistake. I tend to get a little too hot-headed sometimes. You sure are one cool customer though, Mr. Edgeworth. I've heard all the rumors about you. You're the great genius prosecutor. You're something of a legend, you know. Anyway, let's call a truce and work together, okay? Now, how about a handshake to seal the deal? A pleasure to work with you. You're already suspicious. You guys were conducting your investigation, right? Sorry for barging in like that. Carry on then. It's your room after all. Thank you, I intend to. I just want a little more time to say goodbye to Jim. He's gonna take something! You there! So... I want you to capture the scene on film for me. My final farewell to my partner Jim. What the hell? That's so weird. I should probably give them some space. No, he's gonna take something. Okay, let's talk to Dick Gumshoe. Paul, sir? The info I've gathered seem to have picked up a few good leads. Oh, so now you're gonna do that thing you do with all the information, right? What are you blabbling about? The brainy thing you were talking about just a few minutes ago, sir. Logic. You said that you can look at all of your leads and info by pressing LB. Then you pick the ones that seem related with A and connect them with Y. That's your way of investigating, right, sir? Yes, which is why this exercise in explaining my own method to me was unnecessary. Okay, then how about I explain my logic to you next? That is even more unnecessary. Okay. How is it coming along? Please, I need absolute silence. This picture is too important to mess up. I'll leave the man to his art. Mr. Portsman, a word if I may. Jim, I swear I'll find your killer and bring them to justice. You mean yourself? You wait and see. It'll be the both for... It'll be what? Now then, you want to talk to me about something? No, that's alright. I feel like I'm interrupting their conversation. Okay. Okay, we check this. Ah, your jacket, sir! What's it doing on the floor? It must have fallen off the wall when the killer tried to threaten me by firing a round. The killer not only shot the victim, but they shot your jacket as well? They dared to shoot the ultra-special jacket that you made your prosecutorial debut in? What if they had shot through it? It would have been a disaster. It's not worth getting worked up over, detective. Not when there's something more here. Huh? Like what? I take it you haven't noticed it yet, detective. There is a giant contradiction right here in front of us. Really? Something is behind it. Did I say contradiction? He must be rubbing off on me. Oh! I'm starting to sound like him. But I have my own methods and I will conduct this investigation my way. When the scene before me contradicts a piece of evidence or seems off, that's when my deductive skills come into play. First, I have to find a spot that holds a contradiction. This is it. This bullet hole is where the contradiction lies. When I spot something that's off, I should point my cursor at it and press Y with conviction. Okay. Deduce. And when I have found sufficient proof to prove the contradiction, I present it. This is how I do things. Proof of my profession. You know, I should check actually. Only one shot fired. So is it this? Oh, because it should be 2 shots. Oh, Eureka! This bird hole is the contradiction. What do you mean, sir? It's elementary. 2 shots were fired in this room. The first felled the victim. The second felled this frame. Hey, that's right. However, this gun was only fired once. Hey, that's true too. Which means that one of these 2 bullets was fired from a different gun. Did the killer have another gun prepared for tonight? Other than the victim's gun that I found, could there be another gun in play here? By the way, I noticed something, sir. Yes? What's that thing sticking out from behind the frame? Ah, it's a secret safe. Secret safe? Oh, I smell money. I'll spare us the trouble and just say it. Nothing like what you're imagining is inside. Now, if you could kindly move this frame out of the way. Roger that. Achoo, achoo, talk about dusty. I suppose that's what happens when I'm not here to dust it once in a while. I had no idea there was a safe here, or I'd have kept it clean for you, sir. So, when did you put this thing in? It wasn't something I had installed personally. Every prosecutor's office has one. Really? I had no idea. Well, only prosecutors are supposed to have knowledge of their existence. So, what's inside, Mr. Edgeworth? Right now, nothing. We only use them to store especially important evidence when a trial is in session. That's it. Talk about squashing my hopes and dreams. Each prosecutor has one in the office, only they know of them. Trial evidence use. Okay. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. It's very dusty looking in this area. Now this is odd. You found something, sir? This keypad, don't you find it to be a bit too clean? Yeah, there's a thick layer of dust all around it, but not on the keypad itself. You there, the forensic scientist? Yes, sir. Could you please dust this area for fingerprints? You got it, sir. I couldn't find, let alone lift a single print. Looks like it was wiped down well. All of the fingerprint things have been wiped clean off. Okay. As I thought. It appears that logic is the only way around this setback. Time to rationally calmly connect the dots with information we have. Okay, we've already finished examining this area, but it never hurts to look again. I never knew there was a safe hidden back here. Well, the detective knew about them, then they wouldn't be secret now, would they? Are there any other secret, hidden things in this room? Even if there were, it would defeat the purpose of them being hidden if I told you. So don't bother looking for them. So there's no, hidden camera around, right? And what if there was? No, it's nothing. Forget I said anything. Do I even want to ask what he's been doing in my office while I've been away? He's up to some shit, I know. Okay, let's do some reasoning logic stuffy. Signs of a struggle. Wiped finger. Should I say the killer's goal and wiped fingerprints? This and wiped fingerprints. Hopefully this is correct. Nice, yay! I believe I figured out what the murderer was after. Well, what is it, sir? The fact that the safe was wiped clean of fingerprints suggests that the criminal had at least attempted to open my safe, making the culprit's motive for breaking and entering theft, I believe. The culprit tried to open my safe. Was the killer's motive theft? I wonder if knowing that the motive behind this break-in was theft changes what the other pieces of information can tell me about this crime. Motive theft? My files are a mess, pointing to a struggle between the victim and the killer. This and this, because there was something written on the things. It looked like gumshoe. Other than the victim's gun I found, could there be another gun in play here? I think it's this too. Nice. There is a possibility that the files played on that floor are not the result of a struggle between the victim and his killer. Oh, you mean like it could be from when the killer tried to find something, sir? Precisely. We need to figure out if any of the files have been stolen. Yes, sir. I'm gonna shelve files like you've never seen before, even at a library. Sure. Let's give that a try. Why do all the good ones always die young? Surely you must ponder that every once in a while, Mr. Edgeworth. No matter how much we lament, the dead will not come back to life. All we can do is search for the truth. And so what are we supposed to do? How do we go about finding the truth? First we calmly restore the files to their rightful place. You got it. Here, let me help. No, don't let me help. Also, this file goes here and that book goes there. You sure know a lot about where things go, despite it being Mr. Edgeworth's office. Because I'm the one who keeps it tidy, pal. Okay, done. It would appear that the murder was definitely committed here. The bloodstains on the bookshelf are still fresh. I suspect the victim was killed in a standing position, hence the prints on the shelf. And then the guy fell onto the floor, right? The blood on the floor is kind of grossing me out. Detective, I don't have the time to deal with your weak stomach right now. But you know I'm no good with blood, so... I'm certain there's something wrong with this picture. How the hell is the handprint like the reversed way? How could that... if you... Oh wait, no, it could go like... No, that's possible. There's something over here. I'm gonna press this. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? Okay, no. Why is this already so fucking tough? Wait, I need it. Oh, the bullet! Oh, okay, got it. This is where the bullet lodged itself after it went to the victim, huh? For the bullet to be lodged so squarely in a file's spine indicates that the files were ransacked after the shooting had occurred. Then I guess the victim was moved because he was in the killer's way. Oh, you can examine. Oh, I'm an idiot. The victim's handprints. He must have tried to support himself with his hands here after being shot. There are prints on the floor too. Those must have been made when unable to stay standing and he dropped to the floor. It appears that the victim was in a sitting position here after being shot. Oh, so that's why the seat of the victim's pants has blood on it. That would be the logical conclusion. Let's examine him. The killer moved the body because it was leaning against the bookshelf. The blood on this guy's pants proves that pretty well. In a sense, I suppose. See? I'm not completely useless, Mr. Edgeworth. Okay, let's do this. We press this. If it was a stomach, how the hell did it go up there? So it probably was up here somewhere, right? Let us deduce. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? I'm going to present this. Eureka! Eureka! There's clearly contradiction here with this bullet hole. Oh, what do you mean, sir? You don't see? Quite simply, the bullet hole itself is too low. If the victim was shot in the stomach, the hole should be much higher up. What if the guy was shot while he was sitting or lying down, sir? That would be illogical. The victim leaned against the shelf here after being shot, which suggests that he was standing when he was shot. And that means... Wait, what does that mean, sir? It means you need to use your brain every once in a while instead of mine, detective. In any case, it means someone made a faulty assumption. It was from this mistake that a current contradiction was born. What is the faulty assumption that caused this problem with the bullet hole's position? The order of the files, right? I believe the order of the files is a bit off. You mean I put them back in the wrong order just? Hey, actually, I think the labels on the files are wrong, sir. Oh? Yeah, you see here how the files that were shot begin with the number 0? Oh, what are those doing all the way down there after 1, 2 and 3? That's really weird. I thought it was O, not 0. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. That makes so much sense. Actually, the way they're organized now is the correct order. They're exactly as I see them in my mind's eye. But the numbers are all out of order. Those white binders are special, so they're arranged a little differently. But from this, we know that the files were not in this order where the crime occurred. Ha, so that's it. I believe the killer made the same incorrect assumption as you just did, detective. Let's rearrange the files in numerical order and see what we find out. Do you think it'll be okay to prop the body back up to how it was before it was moved? They finished processing the crime scene, so I don't see why it wouldn't be. If you please, Detective Gumshoe. As I suspected, the bullet hole is now where it should logically be. The killer went through my files first before shooting Mr. Fate, and then put the files back in a numerical order, I guess. Exactly, and then proceeded to shoot the victim. Ah, okay, so this was not supposed to be the order, but because he thought, oh, it's 0, 1, 2, 3, he put it like that, and that's why it got shot. But it's actually 1, 2, 3, 0 probably, as what Edgeworth was saying. But why would someone kill a man and then look through your files one more time? Puzzling indeed. The files were thrown into disarray twice, once before and once after the crime. But why? Okay, got it. Now the crime scene is as it was at the time of the murder. Time to give it another look. Wait, the edge is missing. This! What is that? Why does it say gumshoe on there in blood? I'll say that's some incredible incriminating evidence. I knew you wrote it or something. Yes, indicator of criminal activity indeed. No, wait, there's gotta be some mistake. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me, say something, sir. It appears that one of my files was stolen. Is that all, sir? What about me and my situation? Is this what the killer was really after? Maya also had the same thing happen to her. One of the files had written upon in blood was stolen by the culprit. Investigation complete. Looks like Jim was able to leave us the name of his killer in the end. And this most important message managed to reach us. I'm telling you, it wasn't me. You can't be terribly pleased to hear that your beloved partner is the guilty party. If you're going to accuse Detective Gumshoe of being the culprit, I sincerely hope you have some proof to back it up. Jim's words, they're more than enough, wouldn't you say? If that's how you want to play it, then at least allow me to understand your reasoning. You got it. I don't like this one bit. There's something strange about this man's attitude, and there must be some sort of flaw to his logic waiting for me to dig out. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you going to do? What I always do in court, I'm going to cross-examine him. One way or another, I'll expose the flaw in his logic with this technique. Oh, how do you do that? Can you explain it to me, sir? Might as well, I don't even know. Alright, first I listen to witness testimony. If I find a flaw in the testimony, something that contradicts the evidence, I open my organizer with RB and present the piece of contradictory evidence. To present something, I simply use Y, but that's old news. But it's not like there's going to be a flaw in the testimony every time, right? Correct, and at those times, I need to press the witness with LB. Sometimes by pressing, I can draw out new information and new or modified testimony. I think I get it, sir. I'll be sure to try this technique out during investigations, too. Very well, I'll even show you how it's done. Now watch carefully. Mr. Portsman logic. Detective Gumshoe, you stole Jim's gun from him and shot him dead. Furthermore, you messed up the files to make it look like he had committed theft instead. That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in the front of the bookshelf. How did you know it was theft? But thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding. And it will be his final words that you will be brought to justice. You intend to argue that the victim's dying message points to his killer? I can hear Jim's voice and he's calling for his killer's arrest. Are you sure you're not mishearing his words, Mr. Portsman? There is no way Detective Gumshoe is the culprit here. I will find the flaw in this man's logic and expose it with credible evidence. Okay, let's press on with whatever he's saying. Okay, Detective Gumshoe, you stole Jim's gun from him and shot him dead.
Hold it!
You know, there's something I've been meaning to ask. What is it? Why do you call the victim Jim, when clearly his name is Buddy Fate? Isn't it obvious? Jim is the perfect name for my companion. Jackson Jim, don't those two names go together like peanut butter and jelly? That's why you're a narcissist, but Jim isn't even close to the guy's real name. Well, Jackson Buddy just sounds off somehow. Besides, he was the third of a bunch of guys that decided to nickname Jim. He talks about the victim like he was his pet. Furthermore, you messed up the files to make it look like he had committed theft instead.
Hold it!
Do you really think it was necessary to dishevel my shelves twice to do that? That's true. Okay, then maybe his real intent was theft. Hey, are you accusing me of stealing something from Mr. Edgeworth? It's a possibility. Maybe your salary's been cut so much that life is getting a little too rough to handle. I'll have you know that I eat 3 square meals every day, pal. Okay, so all 3 of them happen to be instant noodles, but... Poor thing, what an evil prosecutor you were paired up with, and what a motive, no? That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf.
Hold it!
And why would Detective Gumshoe do such a thing? Because the body was getting in his way. He had to mess up your bookshelf somehow, right? Anyway... But thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding.
Hold it!
Why do you think that the killer didn't notice the bloody letters? The body was covering it quite well, wouldn't you say? That's how he missed it. By judging by what I've seen, it doesn't take much for a detective to miss something. Who do you think you are? You know nothing about me, pal. There's a lot a person can understand about another person from first impressions alone. Honestly, I disagree with him on that point. Why don't you say something, sir? Not you too, Mr. Edgeworth. Despite his lack of attention to detail, I don't believe the detective to be the culprit. Nobody could have overlooked the bloody letters, and I can prove it. With evidence. I couldn't ask for a better setup for the game finishing Spike. And it will be by his final words that you will be brought to justice. Wait, I want to check what... one of the files was written upon it was stolen by culprit. Okay, let's see the profile. A detective in the precinct and the victim. Why was he killed in my office? Homicide detective at the local precinct in charge of the initial investigation. A high prosecutor with the prosecutor's office. It's my first time speaking with him. Okay, let's press.
Hold it!
Are you saying that those letters were intended for you? Yup, Jim was an outstanding detective. I would expect no less from my former partner. It looks like Mr. Portsman still doesn't understand. He has yet to figure out the true meaning behind the bloody letters. What are you sputtering over there? Can't you just admit my logic is perfectly sound? Actually, there's a gigantic flaw in his logic. A gap so wide that even the good detective can spot it. Now to clue Mr. Portsman in by presenting him with some evidence. Is it, oh my god. I hope you can press it faster. Okay, let's save. Let's present this. I don't know, is it this?
Objection!
Okay, nice. Perhaps you're aware, Mr. Portsman, but there is a serious flaw in your logic. Is it the order of the files? Huh? Bringing me a bit of the courtroom into this, I see. No problem. I'm game. I can't help but find it odd. Excuse me? Odd that a fellow prosecutor would be brought down by the power of his own office. What are you talking about? Oh, you're joking, I get it. If you have the time to laugh, then you have the time to take another closer look at this. Do you still not see? If not, may I direct your attention to the missing file? What? That's impossible. What's impossible, Mr. Portsman? Nothing. The files on the shelf are all about a certain case. When the killer went to take the file after murdering your partner, I highly doubt they could have missed the bloody letters written on the spine. It's possible that they could have taken the file before committing the murder. I think it's pretty obvious that the file was stolen after it was written on. The missing letters and the detective's name where the file should be is proof. Yeah, I mean the S is gone and there's only half an H. If Detective Gumshoe really was the culprit of this case, I highly doubt that even he could overlook his own name written in blood on the file. Especially as a detective who can't stand the sight of blood. Ah! Which means what exactly? What does that make this dying message? It makes it the work of a criminal intent on tampering with the crime scene. That's so low! I can't believe the criminal tried to pin this whole thing on me, sir. I'm gonna get him, sir. You'll see. I'm gonna have them under arrest in no time. Well, Mr. Portsman? Brilliant. Absolutely splendid. Logic deserving of Olympic gold. I appreciate the praise, but it doesn't change the fact that your reasoning is flawed. You win, and you lose some. That's how life goes. Glad everyone's so cheery, even though I feel more dead than alive. But you know, it really is a shame. I really didn't want to have to bring this up, however. What is it this time? Are you still after me, pal? Humor me for a second. Who has the key to this office? That would be me. But Mr. Edgeworth just proved that I'm innocent, pal. What are you wearing? That's absolutely right, and I acknowledge your innocence. And why do I sense that you still have something to say? Bro, stop it. Well, I was thinking, did you know there is one other person with a key to this office? One other person? Hey, you there! Yes, sir. What is it, sir? Would you kindly fetch and escort that lovely young lady here for me? Who? A lady? The girl is a member of this building's security. Think of her as a material witness. This is security! Did you say security? No, stop it, pal. Don't. What's wrong with him all of a sudden? Is it Maggie? I believe she needs no introduction. I have called upon Miss Maggie Bird, I knew it. A member of security. Detective Gumshoe, sir. Maggie. Miss Bird is the security guard on watch tonight. I see, and your point is? My point is that she could very well have used it. And by it, I mean the master key, which can open all the office doors in this building. What? If you are not the guilty party, Detective Gumshoe, then the only other person with access to this room is Miss Bird. How dare you? I would never sneak into someone's room. That's right, I refuse to believe that Maggie is the culprit, pal. It was me. That's right, I did it. Can we take that as a confession, Detective? Well, it wasn't really me, but it definitely wasn't Maggie, pal. So yeah, it was me. If it was, you'll have no problems with that, right? Please refrain from flying off the handle, Detective. There's no need for such theatrics. Listen to your boss, Detective. He understands what I'm saying here. You gotta help Maggie. Man, she also gets put into getting accused of murder so many times. That girl is the only one who could have committed the crime, and for one simple reason. Reason for suspicion. Bro, stop it, man. You're annoying. It's pretty obvious that Miss Bird snuck into your room using the master key. I mean, if Detective Gumshoe isn't the one who opened the door, then that leaves only Miss Bird as our prime suspect. On top of which, she knows our good detectives, doesn't she? Making it all the more probable that she was the one who faked the dying message. So you're saying she used the master key? This can open every office door. Its use is controlled by security staff. Incredibly incriminating evidence, wouldn't you say? That's what you claimed about the evidence earlier as well. That was then, this is now. The flow of a good match always changes during a rally. It's all about your reflexes and reaction time, especially for an athlete like me. I wonder if there was anyone else other than Miss Bird who could have used the master key. Sorry. Seems that the only way to get Mr. Portsman to give me more details is to press him. Reason for suspicion. Pretty obvious that Miss Bird stuck in the room using the master key.
Hold it!
Are you sure Miss Bird is the only member of security who could have used the master key? There's only one person on staff at this time of night, and tonight she's it. Isn't that right, Miss Bird? That's true, but I wasn't able to use the master key at the time of the crime, sir. Wasn't able to? What's that supposed to mean? Yes, moving on. I'll hate to get sidetracked by something unrelated. What do you mean, unrelated? I want to hear what she has to say, pal. But you can't really trust her not to tell lies, plus I hate wasting time. Should I hear Miss Bird out? Obviously, ask for more details. Not so fast. I too am interested in hearing what Miss Bird has to say. Didn't I just say it'll be a waste of time? We don't need to hear her lies. I'll be the judge of that. Miss Bird, if you please. I discovered that the master key was missing at around 1 AM, sir. What do you mean by missing? As in, it wasn't anywhere in the security booth, sir. The killer must have stolen it. Mr. Portsman, I believe this is to be an important piece of testimony, don't you? I can't believe that someone like you would be taken in by such words. I'm not lying, sir. If that's the case, then I'd like to know why you have the master key now. I don't quite know. It just reappeared all of a sudden, sir. A likely story. And where is the proof that the key was stolen to begin with? You literally went to guess, or you could have just put it in. I bet he just forgot where he put it and then found it again. I never lose things. I can practically guarantee that. With me, if something disappears, it's usually because someone stole it. Yeah, pal, trust me, you don't want to test just how bad her luck is. Unfortunately, I can't deem this piece of testimony as conclusive. Glad you agree, Mr. Edgeworth. But, you still haven't established Maggie's motive for breaking into Mr. Edgeworth's office. Her motive? Didn't we already establish that it was theft? I mean, the culprit clearly went through the bookshelf and at least tried the safe. It is as Mr. Portsman says, Detective. I can't ignore the fact that all the evidence points towards a motive of theft. But I am done taking blows. It's time to counterattack with a few facts of my own. Her intent from the messed up shelves to wipe down safe. I'll say thievery. How did you know the safe was wiped down? I concur that the culprit's motive appears to have been thievery. However, glad to hear that the great Miles Edgeworth is in agreement with his old me. However, with regard to the investigation of the bookshelves and safe, hey, good thinking, asking for my opinion on the matter. Would it be too much for you to allow me to complete a full sentence? That is where you contradict, I guess. I mean, Detective Gumshoe isn't the one who opened the door. I thought we had established Detective Gumshoe's innocence pretty thoroughly. It was just theory, one hypothesis among the many possibilities. I mean, I had my doubts about Miss Bird from the very beginning. If that's the case, then why didn't you mention her first? Now, don't make that face. See? There goes the truth running the other way. Let's pick up the pace and see if we can catch up to it. I don't think you're catching my drift. But we are in agreement that Detective isn't the killer, right? If so, then I hope you'll understand when I say that since she's the only one who could have opened your office door, then that leaves only Miss Bird as the prime suspect.
Hold it!
No, it's you. Don't you think it's a bit early to be jumping to conclusions? Are you saying there's another way to open the door other than with the master key? Oh, I get it. Perhaps you had a spare made for someone else? I'll have you know, I have never made a spare. So what are you insinuating? Nothing. Guess I should have known better than to suggest that someone like you would. Top of which she knows our good detectives, doesn't she?
Hold it!
Is there anyone in this district who hasn't at least heard of Detective Gumshoe? Good point. He's practically a celebrity among us prosecutors. Really? I never knew I was so talked about, sir. We're holding our collective breath, you know. For when you screw up so badly that you're literally chased off the force. Wait, what? Is that true, Mr. Edgeworth? Of course not. That's hogwash. Phew, don't scare me like that. I almost had a heart attack there. Make it all that more probable that she was the one who faked the dying message.
Hold it!
By dying message, you mean the bloody letters that spell out Gumshoe? I figured that whoever wrote his name must have wanted to frame him. And just the act of choosing his name is proof enough that the two knew each other well. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and present some evidence. I would love to. But first we should listen a bit more and digest what he is saying. And press him for more information. Okay, I think I know where to press, to present, but let me just save. In the second statement, let me present the wiped thing. Because how did he know? Each prosecutor has one in the office, only they know of them. Prints were wiped.
Objection!
Do you wish to continue insisting that Miss Bird was set on stealing something? Why not? It's the truth after all. It was also by your logic that we came to the whole thievery conclusion anyway. That may be, but you must also be aware of the fact that the safe is a secret safe, the existence of which is only privy to prosecutors. I find it a little hard to believe that this hidden safe was a part of a cunning plan. But she could have found it by accident while she was turning everything else upside down. I highly doubt that. I'd say the culprit knew exactly what they were looking for. After all, only the bookshelf and the safe were targeted. Okay, I went the completely wrong way, but I was right. I thought it was like, oh, how the hell did he know that the fingerprints were wiped? But no, it's just that Maggie is not a prosecutor, so how would she know? Okay. Yeah, even I didn't know about that safe, pal. And that means there's no way Maggie could have known about it either. Then are you proposing that the killer is the prosecutor? Interesting conclusion. That's definitely looking more and more probable. What's wrong, prosecutor? Do you have a different suspect in mind now? Aye. Curses, why? What made you? Oh, what's with the angry face all of a sudden? It's all my fault. What do you mean? It's Jim. He knew about the existence of the secret safes. What did you just say? We were partners, like inseparable conjoined twins. That's why I told him I filled him in on the secret safes. And that means... Yeah, I know, I had only just told him too. Obviously it was wrong of me to tell him. I still can't quite believe it. But the thief who broke into your room was probably Jim. Now he's claiming that the victim was the thief? And you were simply trying to stop him, weren't you? Miss Maggie Bird. Excuse me? I mean, you are a security guard, right? That's your job. But killing is going a bit too far, even in a risky profession. What the? You're still accusing Maggie of the murder? Yes and no. I mean, she had stumbled upon Jim, who had probably drawn his gun. I get it. It was self-defense, wasn't it? No, I couldn't. I could never do something like that. Not even as a security guard, sir. Plus, even if he was the thief, he wouldn't have a key to this office. Which is precisely why he had to steal it, wouldn't you say? It was Jim who stole the master key. Pretty impossible for a supposedly stolen key to be here with us unless you retrieved it from Jim after you killed him. Mr. Portsman, are you honestly accusing your own partner of being a thief? I don't want to admit it, but it's the only way for everything else to make sense. Has he no honor? Now then, I think we're done here. The investigation waits for no man. Would you people be so kind as to see yourself out? You can't kick us out. This is Mr. Edgeworth's office. Ah, but I'm the one who's been assigned to this case. You are all suspects to varying degrees, and therefore ineligible to run the show. Listen, pal, how many times do I have to say this? Maggie can't be the culprit. Detective Gumshoe, calm yourself. But sir, we have no choice but to accommodate his request. For now. Haha, thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. At least one of you understands. Now then, if you could remove yourself from my crime scene, I'll be most grateful. Mark my words, Mr. Portsman. We will meet again. If that's a formal request from the legendary prosecutor himself, then I suppose so. Now then, don't disappoint me, you hear? Can we go to his room? Oh, to be continued. Whoa? Still going on. Holy shit. I thought it was going to be short. Usually the first case is pretty short. March 14, 4:18 AM. Prosecutor's building, 12th floor hallway. What is with the prosecutor? I can't believe how rude he was. It is unbelievable. Please maintain your professionalism, detective. I'm gonna find some real solid evidence proving Maggie's innocence. You will see, sir. And we've been kicked out of the crime scene, sir. It's true. So then what now? Looks like my life's fallen into yet another gigantic ditch. Do not despair, Miss Bird. We can overcome this as well. There are many other places and things we should be looking into anyway. Eh? Really, sir? For example, this hallway. The linchpin of this argument against Miss Bird is related to the master key. In that case, this hallway is the perfect place to look for more information. Regarding the mystery surrounding my door, there's something under the chair. Prosecutor's building, 12th floor hallway. Yay, bro. I love how they're all walking. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Ready? Let's first check this. A well-crafted, high-quality sofa for visitors. The stitching is excellent. Talk about a luxury waiting area. These babies are also great for napping, you know. You were sleeping even out here, detective? In a hallway? Whenever I do, I always wind up dreaming about giving testimony up on the stand. It always ends the same way. Me getting trounced by a lawyer. Isn't that awful? Maybe I should give it a try sometime to envision myself winning naturally. Okay, let's check what's inside this. It's the missing book. Isn't this that missing 0 series file, sir? No doubt about it. The bloody letters mark it clear as day. There seem to be a few pages missing. Our thief took only what was necessary and left the rest behind. So what are these 0 files about, sir? I guess they've got something worth stealing in them, huh? Not particularly. It's just a collection of court case files. However, the cases within these files are not mine. Huh? They belong to the High Prosecutor that used to occupy my current office. I have my reasons, but let's just say I was charged with keeping them as they were. That means the thief must have also wanted the file for a specific reason, right? It would seem so. Only the pages related to the case from 10 years ago are missing. I wonder why anyone would care about such an old case. Okay, is there more stuff? I already checked this area earlier, but it never hurts to take another look. Let's check this. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. 1202. These 4 numbers on a number plate alone proclaim this to be my office. Whoops! Hey, these number plates slide right out, sir. They have to be able to take the plate off when the room becomes vacant, you know. Although the idea that it can be so easily removed is kind of... Yeah, that's true. I don't see any signs of forced entry. And according to the guard, no signs that the lock was picked either, sir. Meaning that the door really was opened with a key. Did you happen to ask if any prints were lifted from the doorknob? Apparently the doorknob's clean as a whistle. Wiped, they think. Whoever this thief is, they did a good job of not leaving any clues behind. A minimalist yet classy door made of top quality wood. It's sturdily made, making it near impossible to break it by force. It's almost majestic, sir. I wish I could be as stately as this door. Only Gumshoe would praise a door as something greater than himself. Being a detective has its own rewards and a certain virtuous value, I think. If you live up to your full potential, that's a poignant trait that anyone can admire. I see, so you're saying, sir, that me being me is the best thing I can do for everyone? Right. Yeah, that long pause wasn't exactly reassuring, sir. These two are so funny. Winston Payne? You two are here? What is the basketball doing here? That's Mr. Portsman's prized possession, sir. I heard he also plays soccer, dodgeball, and even tennis. And not a single one of those sports is suitable to be played in a hallway. Is everything alright? Yes, sir. If you must know, I weighed myself this morning and I'm finally at 154 pounds. Congratulations, but I was asking about this hallway and this room. Oh, everything's okay, sir. And word of advice, stay focused, or you may start to lose even more weight. What are you doing here, Winston Payne? It looks like you're in quite the pinch, Mr. Edgeworth. To be sure, a murder within the walls of the prosecutor's office is no trifling matter. We must find, apprehend, and punish the killer accordingly, post-haste. Sounds like a messy case you've got on your hands. If you ever feel lost or need some advice, my door is always open. How gracious, I will keep your offer in mind. Who is this guy again? Oh my god, Winston. Is there anything to talk with, Gumshoe? Anything of interest? Detective Gumshoe, you look rather intrigued by something. Care to share? Oh, it's nothing, but I noticed that Mr. Portsman calls his partner Jim. The detective in that Sunday night drama, All My Cops, is named Jim too. I bet one of them is a big fan of that show. You seem to know a little something about yourself. I take it you watch it too? Of course, the tight bond of friendship between prosecutor and detective is great, sir. There's nothing compared to the super strong friendship we have. Ho ho ho. Friendship, detective? I think you're mistaking it with pity. How can you say that, sir, after all we've been through too? He's just being a tsundere, Gumshoe. Talking to witnesses. About Miss Bird. No way she's the killer. Please don't tell me you buy into that accusation, sir. Rest assured, I think she's innocent. However, I need to ask her a few things regarding her security guard position. Well, if you're only asking, that's okay. Just stand next to her and then press A. Then you two can talk about whatever topic you pick. Whenever you want to ask her about evidence, all you have to do is present it to her with Y. After you choose what to show her, press Y again, and off you two go. I recommend showing different people different things. You'll be surprised by what they say. Thank you for the explanation, though I don't recall asking for one. Oh, just so you know, sir, you can show me evidence in the same way too. I do believe it's time to get down to business and ask some questions of Miss Bird. Ignored again. You know, let's present some stuff. You know what? My prosecutor's badge. Your prosecutor's badge is really tiny compared to my police badge. Oh, but it's really cool, sir. Much cooler than my badge could ever be. There's no need to suck up to me, detective. Okay, let's present this. I'm just a lowly detective, so I'm not sure what I should do with that other than to arrest it. Is that the only talent you have? Oh, wait. The victim's gun, huh? It's the same model as mine. A tool used to protect lives, yet one that can also take lives away. Those who take a gun in hand wield a great responsibility. I hope you understand that. I don't really use my gun at all, so the only time I would use this baby is when I'm fighting a hot duel with a convict to look ultra cool. You were doing so well until that last bit. I had no idea you had one of these things. I mean, I thought I knew everything there is to know about you, Mr. Edgeworth. I feel like I've got a glimpse of the hidden side of Miles Edgeworth. There's a great deal you don't know about me. At least I hope so. He's a fanboy. He's an Edgeworth fanboy. Okay, let's talk to you, Maggie. I was wondering if I may speak with you for a bit concerning this case. I've always been a big fan of the courtroom, but this is like a dream where I'm being cross-examined by the Miles Edgeworth. Can't let this chance pass me by. I must remember to ask her about the master key. I should jog her memory by showing my notes to her with Y. The victim. Have you ever met the victim before? Well, I've seen him a couple of times before when I had to go to Mr. Portsman's office. Mr. Fate was always playing basketball with Mr. Portsman, sir. That sounds like fun. Just once I'd have loved to play with them. Sounds fun, but the only person ever taking a shot was Mr. Portsman. All Mr. Fate ever did was pass him the ball, sir. Jesus, bro, Portsman is fucking horrible. On second thought, I don't think I'll have to fit in all that well with them. Maggie Bird. Miss Maggie Bird, correct? I take it that you are an acquaintance of the detective? She was under my supervision back when she was still on the force, sir. One day she got caught up in a murder and things started going downhill, so she quit. But I owe a lot to Detective Gumshoe for introducing me to my current employer. Or so I thought until a few hours ago. Right before I was about to clock out for the night. You got caught up in this whirlwind of a case, correct? Don't worry, my whole life has been nothing but a whirlwind of bad luck and failures. Since I was 6 months old when I fell from the 9th floor of my apartment building. Jesus! I've been hit by all sorts of vehicles, got sick from all sorts of food, failed at almost every test I've taken, experienced almost every kind of disaster. And now I even managed to be named a criminal just when I become a security guard. That's a lot to go through in one lifetime. I know, and just when I thought I had finally found my happiness, I wind up getting you and Detective Gumshoe involved in my bad luck. You don't need to worry about me, Miss Bird, nor do you need to worry about yourself. I will solve this case and prove your innocence. All I ask in return is for your cooperation. Yes, sir, Mr. Edgeworth, you can count on me. I'll do all I can to help. Let's present my badge. That's a prosecutor's badge, isn't it? It proves that you're really a prosecutor. Interesting. Despite all appearances, she seems to know more than Gumshoe. With that badge, even I could be a professional prosecutor. Sir, may I please try that one? Just for a little bit? I don't think that would be a very good idea, do you? I guess not. Second thought, they're actually on the same level. Crime scene notes. I'm just a lowly security guard, so I'm not sure what I should do with that other than to guard it. It's like talking to another Gumshoe. Okay, let's show the master key. So when did you discover that the master key was missing? By the time I realized it, I think it was around 1 AM, sir. And I noticed it was back at around 2:30 AM. It was just sitting there on the ledge where the security room's reception window is. But I'm sure that between those two times, it was not just gone, but stolen, sir. This key went missing from approximately 1 AM until 2:30 AM. Why is such an important key stored in such an insecure place? It's not like that, sir. You always keep the key further inside the room, away from the window. Always, you say, except for this time, correct? Well, I admit that I was a bit careless, but I had my reason. I left it out because I was sort of using it at the time. It was after I had used it that I left it sitting out on the ledge. She used the master key? Can we use the master key to go in Mr. Portsman thing? Use the master key. What do you mean by use the master key? Oh, I had to use it to open the door for this prosecutor who had forgotten his key. Oh. Why are you wearing a hat? I mean, it's my job as a security guard, right? What is it? That's right, I just remembered. The prosecutor who forgot his key. It was Mr. Portsman, sir. What? Please tell me more, Miss Bird, quickly. Forgetful, Mr. Portsman. It was around 12 AM. Mr. Portsman had forgotten his office key, so he came down to security, sir. And that's when you loaned the master key to him? No way, it's against regulations to loan the master key out to anyone. I walked with Mr. Portsman to his office and opened the door for him personally, sir. I see. And then what happened after that? Well, he called for me to come close up his office as he was leaving to go home. That was around 1:30 AM, I think. So in summary, for the sake of one forgetful prosecutor, you used the master key twice tonight. He was used to unlock and lock Portsman's office at 12 AM and 1:30 AM. Talk about suspicious! I doubt you can say that you've never left your keys at home, detective. I think this calls for a thorough examination of Mr. Portsman's door. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. It's Mr. Portsman's personal basketball hoop. I can't believe he put something like this in the hallway of a prosecutor's office. It's gonna go away, don't worry. But you know, it's actually pretty useful, sir. I haven't got lost trying to get to your office since it's been here. How long have I had the same office and yet you still managed to get lost? Okay, let's check this. The door is locked tight. I bet the old credit card trick wouldn't work here, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? This is the office of a high prosecutor, detective. These doors would be pretty ineffective if the average cat burglar could get through them. Aha! So I guess only a great cat burglar could get in. That must be who our culprit is. Might I advise you to return that conclusion to whatever pawn shop you bought it from? Room 1203. You take it that this is Mr. Portsman's office? Yeah, you can't mistake it because of that basketball hoop, sir. Oh, that reminds me, Mr. Portsman had actually wanted room 1202 really badly. But since you were already occupying it, Mr. Edgeworth, we put him next door, sir. But so why was Mr. Portsman so particular about getting room 1202? I'm not sure, but I bet it's because of something like his birthday is December 2nd. Yep, that's gotta be it. I can't think of another reason why. I can think of at least 3. Why am I even wasting time thinking about this? A minimalist yet classy door made of top quality wood. Kind of majestic too, fits in really well with the ambience of the prosecutor's office. Even Mr. Portsman seems dignified just because he works behind one of these. Nonsense, a man doesn't become more or less dignified because of where he works. Well, he still seems more dignified than Mr. Payne. Mr. Payne? I suppose custodial work can also be dignified. Man, Payne is just getting shots fired even though he literally does nothing. He literally does nothing. Okay, I think we're done. Let me examine this though. What is a basketball hoop doing here? Hey, didn't this used to be just outside next to the building a long time ago? So when and why was it moved indoors? I don't remember exactly, but I saw one of the officers drag it up here recently. Drag it? I heard that wouldn't fit in the elevator, so the poor guy had to bring it himself. All the way up to the 12th floor? Dude, I get it, man. We had to carry like the sofa which couldn't fit the elevator, so we had to drag it up to like the, the 9th floor from the stairs, and we felt so bad. We obviously paid them extra. Do we... well, let's... you know what, let me... can I use something over here? Ace Investigator. I was wondering about the investigation. Oh, I've been waiting for this. Let a real seasoned pro teach you how it's done. A real seasoned pro of instant noodle cuisine, perhaps. You know that you can always check out the really important spots in more detail, right? Yes. And if the area is too big, you can always use RS to take a look around. Oh, but don't worry, sir. The RS command will only show up when you need it. I knew that as well. And when you think there's a contradiction or something unusual, try deduction. First you line up the cursor with a suspicious looking area, then press Y into the poison. I mean, evidence. And if set it on a piece, you've got to present it with Y again. I'm pretty sure I already knew that as well, detective. Well, if you can remember all that, then welcome to the world of pros. IW Ace Investigator, class dismissed. And all I wanted was an update about the investigation. Okay, I thought I could deduce or something. No, can't deduce. So I guess I have to do something with my logic skills. One before and 1000 murder, why? This key went missing from approximately 1 AM until 2:30 AM. Use the master key. This key was used to unlock and lock Portsmouth's office at 12 AM and 1:30 AM. Connect. Nice. Miss Bird, I'm afraid there's a flaw in your story. What? No way, pal. I mean, sir. You said that you locked up Mr. Portsmouth's office at around 1:30 AM, correct? However, the master key had already been stolen at that time. Wow, nothing gets by you, Mr. Edgeworth. You saw that contradiction like a pro. I'd totally forgotten all about that, but thanks to you, I remember it now. You're right, it was around the very time that I realized the master key was missing. And, well, I'm a security guard, sir. I couldn't just admit to losing the master key, could I? So I pretended to lock up his room, sir. You pretended? Yeah, I used my house key and made it look like I was locking up, sir. In actuality, you never did relock the door then. Well, I thought that maybe I could go lock it after I found the key. Come to think of it, I guess the door still hasn't been locked properly. Let's go in, let's go in. Miss Bird unlocked the door, but master key was stolen, so she could not lock it up. Let's go, let's go. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious nook and cranny. Let's go in, let's go in. Wait. Are you deduced now? Deduce. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? Miss Bird unlocked the door, but master key was stolen, so she could not lock it up.
Eureka!
Eureka! There's a contradiction here between reality and the evidence. If what Miss Bird has said is true, then why is this door locked tight? Huh? You know you're right. Miss Bird, are you sure you didn't relock this door? I'm certain of it, sir. And I don't think Mr. Portsman noticed it himself that I hadn't. Which means what, sir? It either means that he actually does have the key to his office, or that the door Miss Bird opened wasn't this one at all, but a completely different one. Oh? She opened a different door, but how can you prove that? There's an easy way to find out. All we need to do is... we need to examine these prints on the number plate. The prints on the number plate, they will tell us all we need to know. Everything? Really? Like what, sir? Like, well, for example, okay. And such as... well, we know for sure the detective Gumshoe's dinner will only consist of instant noodles. Wow, that was amazing, sir. How did you know? Was that supposed to be a joke to cheer me up, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, that's it. Now then we should get back to doing what we need to do, and that is... we need to examine these, prints on the master key. Okay, I was not reading properly and I just went ahead with the thing. We examined the fingerprints on the master key. Well, if that's what you want to examine, sir, that was the very first thing we did. I can tell you that we didn't find any prints other than Maggie's. Man, I suck already. That's so brilliant, Mr. Edgeworth. So what can we deduce from that? Well, I'll tell you what I deduced. I think this means that the culprit wiped their prints off. Yes, that's exactly it. I'm glad you were able to come to the same conclusion. However, the more important matter is, we need to examine these prints on the doorknob. The prints on the doorknob will tell us everything. Hey, you! Yeah, you, pal. Do us a favor and see what we can lift from this, okay? So, what did you find out? There's no need for such belligerent nostril flaring, detective. Sir, I found only Mr. Portsman and Mr. Fate's prints on this doorknob. So only 2 people's prints were found on this, huh? That's pretty decisive. Huh? I am lost, sir. Thinking logically, a certain other person's print should be on this knob as well. Now then, whose print should also be on this doorknob? Maggie? Is it Maggie? Oh, she opened the Edgeworth's door instead of thing. So, wait, what? Wait. Wait, my brain's hurting. Isn't that? Okay, no, it's probably Maggie.
Take that!
Don't you find it odd that the prints of the person who unlocked this door are absent? You mean, yes, the door that Miss Bird opened could not have been this one, but a different one. Okay, so she opened Edgeworth's door instead of Mr. Portman. What have we here? Oh, I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Is this basketball property of Mr. Portsman? Yes, sir. He's always ready for a match. Basketball, soccer, dodgeball, tennis. It doesn't matter what sport it is. He's game. Although I think it'll be a little hard to play tennis with this ball. Ho ho. That isn't the point you should be focusing on, detective. You're right, sir. Now I know what I should be focusing on. Bad Mr. Portsman. Someone should teach him to clean his toys up after he's done playing. I think we've reached the end of this conversation. Wait, let me just drink water, my throat is dying. This thing has been moved, so there could be something behind. What's this? What are you looking at, sir? Oh hey, how about a game? That's okay, detective. I just found the position of this hoop to be a little off. Hey, you're right, sir. I guess it shifted when someone made a seriously sweet slam dunk. The positioning of the hoop is definitely unnatural. I'll better take note of this. Sitting in front of Portsman's office, there are signs that it's been moved. Okay, let's do this. What is this? Looks like a scrap of paper. I'll get it, sir. Let's see. Oh, there's something written on it. I brought the 3 pieces of evidence by just like we talked about on the phone, but it looks like you're out. Guess I'll catch up to you later. Wait, I brought the 3 pieces of evidence by just like we talked about on the phone, but it looks like you're out. Guess I'll just catch up to you later. It looks like a note from the victim. Yeah, and it's from Mr. Portsman. Found under the door for the absent Portsman. Investigation complete. Nice! Okay, we gained the thing. Nice. Poking around in this hallway has actually paid off quite handsomely. Huh? How so, sir? In a variety of different ways. I think it's time we had a little chat with the real culprit of this case. You know who the killer is? Wow, Mr. Edgeworth. As long as my logic is sound, then yes. The mastermind behind this murder is none other than Mr. Portsman. What? Mr. Portsman? I knew it. That's exactly what my logic senses were telling me too. I suspected it was him from the instant he accused Maggie of being the killer, sir. That is anything but logical. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourself. Come what may, it's time to knock on truth's door. March 14, 5:12 AM, High Prosecutor's Office, Room 1202. Mr. Portsman, I've finished processing the bloody letter, sir. Alright, let me take a gander at it. Pass it here. Oh, the animations are really cool. Okay, looking good. You there, take good care of this. Wow! Well, if it isn't Detective Gumshoe. End of the line for you, Portsman. We've got you now. Call off your dog, Mr. Edgeworth. Is this some kind of joke? It's no joke. We know, Mr. Jack Portman, that you are the guilty party in this case. You must be pretty upset getting chased out of your own room. I'll be mad too. So I guess you can stay if you promise to stay out of our way. No. You intend to hide your crime under the guise of prosecutor doing his job? I can see right through the unsightly papers and mask you wear upon your cowl. Haha. Would have ever thought it would come to this? Actually, come to think of it, your mentor was Manfred von Karma, right? The legendary prosecutor who never lost a single case for 40 long years. But there was always this incessant chatter about forged evidence with that guy. Really teaches me that I've got to stay out on the lookout for false accusations, you know. Are you done trying to play mind games with me? Because they won't work. The only thing you should be using that mouth of yours for now is explaining yourself. Although that too will only dig your hole deeper. Either way, your game is up. Well, aren't we full of ourselves, even though you have yet to prove anything? We literally saw you get shot. The game spoiled me, okay? We know it's you. I have no idea what sort of harebrained idea you have in mind, but there's a mountain of evidence that points away from me being the culprit. Besides, how may I ask do you propose I unlocked your door and got in here? Look, I feel bad doing this to you, but I've got work to do, so we're done here. Sorry, but we are not finished yet. Boy, you're stubborn. I suppose you're basing your accusations on something? I'll show you what I'm basing my accusation on, with evidence. What is my evidence again? I don't remember. I have no idea what sort of harebrained idea you have in mind, but...
Hold it!
My accusation is a harebrained idea, is it? You tell me. I say it is. After all, there's a mountain of evidence that points away from me being the culprit.
Hold it!
Oh, and what, pray tell, kind of evidence are we talking about here? Jim was my partner, so you can't say I had a motive for killing him. And that's it. That's not even an anthill, let alone a mountain. But it's more than enough, wouldn't you agree? Might I recommend that you review what the word evidence means? It doesn't change the fact that the evidence doesn't point to me as the killer. Besides, how may I ask you to propose I unlocked your door and got in here?
Hold it!
Unfortunately, I believe I've already shown how earlier. Your speculations mean nothing as I still insist I could not gain access to your room. What should I do now? Should I raise an objection? Raise an objection. You claim to have had no way to open my door. However, is that really the honest truth? Haha, alright, I'll humor you. Go ahead, shoot. Very well then, I propose that you use this to open my door. Master key?
Take that!
I believe you were able to open my office door with the master key, no less.
Objection!
Wait, hold on for a second. I never laid a finger on that key, as you already know. Precisely, you were able to open my door without lifting a single finger. Well, maybe you did, but only to direct. That's right, you used a finger to direct this person to open my door with the key. Maggie.
Take that!
You had asked Miss Bird to open your own office door for you, yes? Yeah, I kind of forgot my key at home. Happens a bit too often for my taste. You know, you could change the nameplate though. But the room you had Miss Bird open at the time was not your own, was it? What? You have quite the imagination. But why don't we ask the girl herself whose door she opened, shall we? I'm certain that it was Mr. Portsman's door, sir. I checked the number plate to make sure I was opening the right door, sir. See, Miss Bird backs up my story. Yet what if you had misled her to fool her into thinking what you wanted? Ha, and how do you suppose I did that? By switching the number plates on our doors, for example. That's right, they do slide out pretty easily. Furthermore, you then use one other thing to give a very strong impression. That the door she was opening was yours and not in fact mine. The basketball court. What was it that Mr. Portsman used to make Miss Bird think that it was his room? The basketball hoop.
Take that!
What? The basketball hoop, sir? It's quite the peculiar fixture in any hallway, let alone a hallway in this building. This is why it would left an unusually strong impression on you. It's an object perfectly suited to just sit just outside the office of a peculiar prosecutor. Ah! That's very true, sir, because there was a basketball hoop sitting there. I thought the door I was opening had to be Mr. Portsman's. There are signs that the hoop has been moved. To sit it in front of my office, to be sure. Ah, I see. That's how you throw suspicion on people. Thanks for the tip. But I think your conjecture is a little off the racetrack. Nope. Conjecture is rebuttal. Now you're just spouting nonsense. I had the girl open my office door. After that, I was in my room the entire time. You don't have a single reason to suspect me. He intends to claim his innocence at the end, does he? I'm as pure as innocent as my jacket. And Miss Bird as dirty and guilty as the jacket she wears. Jesus, bro, what are you implying with that? My jacket's not dirty, I'll have you know. I just washed it yesterday. Please calm down, for I intend to show who is the one truly covered in slime here. Okay, let's press. Now you just for nonsense.
Hold it!
Nonsense, you say? Yes, because I'm telling the truth here. That's it. I had to go open my office
Hold
door.
it!
Using the master key, of course. Sure, you have a problem with that? But that is what the master key is for, right? Perhaps we should place it in a labyrinth of some sort for people like you. After that, I was in my room the entire time.
Hold it!
Nope. And what were you doing in your office? I was doing my usual training regimen. Training regimen? Were you going through your law books from start to finish? Mainly batting practice and some weights. Oh, and I jog when I get the chance. Wow, you must be the buffest prosecutor we have. With the weakest legal muscles, it would seem. I was doing my usual workout, so... You don't have a single reason to suspect me.
Hold it!
Also, dude, he's not muscular at all. Dude, Edgeworth is more broad and muscular in my opinion. I think I've given you quite a few reasons, actually.
Objection!
But none of those would stand up on their own.
Objection!
Then what about all the evidence? It's all circumstantial. No judge would convict on such flimsy evidence. He seems to be trembling a little. One more little push all I have to do is find the flaw in his testimony. Okay, let's go over here. Should I present this? And... present?
Objection!
I must object to your line of logic. Okay, it's wrong. And which part do you have an objection to? It's... yes, well... Stay cool, Mr. Edgeworth. You're no good when you're all flustered. Detective's right for a change. How did it come to this? Calm down, Miles. Listen carefully and think everything through a bit more rationally. I was in my room. Oh, sorry! I pressed the wrong one! Oh my god, I'm an idiot! I'm an idiot. I pressed the wrong one. It's the note.
Objection!
I'm actually an idiot. I was thinking of something else. I was scattered brain. Oh my god. That was a lie. What are you talking about? How was that a lie? This is a note that the victim left for you, Mr. Portsman. A note? It was left under your door. Or did you not notice? And right here it says, but you're out. You were not in your room when the victim came to call on you. So then, where were you and what were you doing? Ah! Shall I explain it in full detail for you? You were busy snooping around in my room, the very room you had Miss Bird open for you. That's just nonsense. You have no evidence that I made the girl open your door for me. Oh, but I do. I have very decisive evidence. No way! This is proof positive that you had Miss Bird open the door for you. Tin 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 tin. Is it this?
Take that!
I had your door dusted for prints. My door? Huh, what for? Come on, I bet you didn't find anything. You sure are good at wasting time. You're right, I didn't find anything. And definitely not Miss Bird's fingerprints. Her prints? What do they have to do with anything? Let's put it this way. If she really was the one who opened your door, then her print should naturally be on the doorknob she touched. Ah! Further, all of the prints on my office door's knob have been wiped clean off. I can only assume it's because Miss Bird's fingerprints were on it. Don't you think it's time you gave up your charade? We know you stole into my office with the intent of stealing something from me. And Detective Faith found you out. Possibly because he heard sounds coming from a room whose occupant was on leave. Mr. Portsman, you killed Mr. Fate to silence him. And I had the misfortune to return when I did. You had to threaten me as you escaped. As I said, when you had the gun to my back, no one gets away with committing murder in my office. And just what's so funny, pal? Well, that look of stiff seriousness on the face of this office's finest prosecutor, as he makes a huge mistake in accusing me, is simply too much to bear. There's just nothing else like it in the world. What? Mr. Edgeworth just explained it all and he even backed it up. You're the murderer. Stop trying to be slippery and just admit to the crime already. And as I said earlier, it's all so circumstantial, so full of conjecture. You say you checked my doorknob for prints? Well, I can readily confess that I'd wiped that knob down well. Eh? I'm a little obsessive-compulsive, you know. I didn't want to touch a doorknob that you had touched. Which is why I wiped the knob down as soon as I could after you opened the door. After that, it makes perfect sense that only Jim's and my own prints would be on there. You made that up just now, didn't you? Furthermore, as for the note Jim left for me, do you know exactly when that was? For all we know, he could have left it there before I arrived at the office. Like early evening, for example. Are you saying you failed to notice a note in your doorway? Hey, even geniuses fail at times. I was probably too preoccupied by work-related matters, although that's no excuse. Now that's just a flat-out lie. There's no way you didn't notice a note that size. But you can't prove that, can you? Say something, Mr. Edgeworth. Back me up here, sir. Postman makes a good point. I can't prove that I didn't simply overlook it. Besides, I have an airtight alibi. Airtight, you say? I only just realized I had one as we were talking. I guess it would have been better for all of us if I had told you sooner. Sportsman's alibi. If memory serves, you came back to his office at around 2 a.m., correct? Came back to his office at 2 a.m., correct? It was then that he'd had that unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the big culprit. But exactly that time, I was down in criminal affairs. Ask around, I'm sure the other detectives will corroborate my story. It's the perfect alibi. Do you really think it's that perfect? Like I said, I don't care. Ask around all you like. You'll see for yourself. Detective Gumshoe? Yes, sir. I'll go check out the alibi, sir. Be right back. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, I think we're in trouble. It's just like Mr. Portsman said. The guy down in criminal affairs said they saw him around 2 a.m. You see? All of the evidence points to him being the culprit, so there must be a contradictory point in his alibi somewhere. Okay, I guess we press on. If memory serves, he came back to his office at around 2 a.m., correct?
Hold it!
You are correct. It was around 2 a.m. Are you sure? It's really important to me that you're spot on with the time. I remember checking my watch then, and make no mistake, it was 2. Oh, giving testimony like a pro. Okay, so you came back to your office at 2. And it was then that you had that unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit.
Hold it!
How did you know it was at gunpoint? It's as you say. Wait, actually no, you do know. I'm an idiot. Yes, however, you are the only one who claims to have bumped into the culprit. So tell me, did you see the person's face? Was it me who you saw? It was pitch black, so I couldn't actually see.
Objection!
Oh, come now, I'm sure you saw something. Try a little harder, why don't you? I'm beginning to feel like I'm the one being interrogated here. Well, it doesn't matter if you remember or not. If what only matters that you ran into the culprit. But at exactly that time, I was down in criminal affairs.
Hold it!
So you paid the criminal affairs department a visit? Yep, right after I left the prosecutor's building, I headed straight for the precinct. Ask around, I'm sure the other detectives will corroborate my story. It's the perfect alibi.
Hold it!
Well, we did go and ask around to confirm your testimony. And it was just as I said, right? Yes, sir. A number of detectives said that they saw you at around that time. See? I have the perfect alibi. That's the ace I had up my sleeve. Ugh! Impossible. He actually does have the perfect alibi. What's wrong? Why the sudden look on your face? Can't you say anything back, Mr. Edgeworth? I think we've reached the end of the line and it's time to get off this crazy train. You there! Sir, please escort the young lady out. But remember, be gentle. Maggie! Detective Gumshoe! Is there nothing I can do? There must be a way to turn this situation around. If I only had a clue, did I miss something that can help me cast doubt on its alibi? Who I met could not have been Portsman. Then who could it have been? I need to calmly think this through one more time and with logic. What? The culprit rearranged my 5 strides once before and once after the murder. Why? The intruder I met could not have been Portsman. Then who could it have been? Could there be another gunplay here? Huh? God, I have no clue. I got no clue. Okay, it's correct, but I don't know what it is. Evidence points to the shells being disturbed once before and once after the murder. But who is to say that the person who did it the second time is the same as the first? Which could mean that there was another person who paid a visit to my office tonight. Okay, maybe the victim and his killer weren't the only visitors to my office tonight. Okay, another handgun, another visitor. So there's literally a third party. Oh my god. If indeed there were 2 culprits, then that resolves the contradiction behind a murder weapon. Despite the fact there are 2 bullets here in this room, the murder weapon only shows signs of being fired once, leaving the possibility that the other bullet was fired from the other visitor's gun. Furthermore, if we suppose that the second culprit's gun was the one that was pointed at my back.
Objection!
Mr. Portsman, it seems I need to amend my assumption regarding this case. Great, so you've finally come to your senses. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, what are you saying? This has been a big misunderstanding on my part from the start. I had assumed that the person I ran into was the killer, but that may not be the case. What do you mean? The person I ran into was just your average thief. A thief? But sir, doesn't that cause some sort of contradiction in the facts? Not at all, it simply means that the killer was someone else. And it means that in actuality 2 culprits stole into my office tonight. What do you mean, 2? It explains both why my shelves were disturbed twice and how there were 2 guns. Mr. Postman tricked Miss Bird and gained entry into my office. Now you're just leading this argument. You still don't have any actual proof, you know. If you could please go along with my hypothetical scenario from now, Mr. Postman. In the end, if you really are innocent, you should have nothing to worry about. Now then, returning to my scenario, Mr. Postman was out to steal something from me, which is why he checked my secret safe and ransacked my shelves. This is the first time. So then, this will be when the files were put back in the wrong order, right? Correct, and then just when he was about to look somewhere else, who should walk in but his own partner, Mr. Fate? Why did Mr. Fate come into your room, sir? He probably had business with Mr. Portman, which is why he was in the area. But that's when he noticed sounds coming from my office, would be my guess. Oh, because you were supposed to be away, right? And he must have thought it was odd, so he came into his office to check it out. Correct, and as a detective, that was the right thing to do. But when he came in, he found his own partner standing there. Because it was Mr. Portsman, Mr. Fate probably let his guard down. But Mr. Portman was not so merciful as to let him leave alive. He waited for a chance and stole Mr. Fate's gun from him, and then he killed him. He silenced Mr. Fate for catching him in the act of stealing. No. This was the moment in which the first shot was fired, the one that landed in my files. Following that, Mr. Portsman wiped the gun down and left it behind as he made his exit. He could afford to do that because he had also left a fake dying message behind. You're such a complicated troublemaker, you know that? Well, if things were as simple as that, then all would be solved. However, there was yet another visitor to my room, and this is where it gets complicated. There was another visitor, sir? Yes, and this other person's objective was also to steal something from me. Now then, even after Mr. Portsman left, the door to my office remained unlocked. However, this new visitor had no way of knowing that, and so they stole the master key from the security guard's room and then entered my room and searched through my shelves. This was the second time they were disturbed, and it seems the thief found their prize. The stolen 0 file, right, sir? Correct, only just as the thief was about to leave with the file, I appeared. The thief then threatened me with their own gun and made their escape. The second bullet was fired during that brief encounter. The shells getting messed up twice and the 2 bullets. It was all because 2 different people were doing those things at 2 different times. Precisely, so now do you see, Mr. Portsman? The person I met was just a thief and was not in fact Mr. Fate's killer. Your alibi for the time frame in which I ran into the other person is now irrelevant, because we now know that the murder took place during the first culprit's visit. What's so funny, pal? Absolutely splendid, your scenario explains everything. Of course it does, it's Mr. Edgeworth after all. But you know, it still doesn't change the fact that it's all circumstantial. Supposing if, and that's a big if, your theory is right, it would indeed render my alibi, which has withstood scrutiny, mind you, irrelevant. But there is still one defining point of your argument for which you have no evidence. The supposition that I was the first visitor. Mr. Edgeworth, you can't let him get away with that, sir. But he has a point. I have absolutely no proof at this point. Don't say that, sir. I don't believe this. Don't worry, Maggie. I'll do something if I must. You know something? I find your attitude to be somewhat peculiar, Mr. Edgeworth. If the person you met really was just a plain old thief, then why is that person not your main suspect? That is, if your theory is correct. Portsman's alibi part 2. The thief you ran into should be a real suspect, wouldn't you say? You should be out there looking for that thief right now. They might still be nearby. I hate to repeat myself, but as I've already said, I was training in my room. And when Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down at criminal affairs. So I can't be expected to know what happened around here after I left. So you think we should be out there looking for the thief? Of course, now is the time to be having these dead-end discussions. I don't think it's at all dead-ended. I find your alibi to be fascinating. Let's continue where we left off, shall we? I know he's lying. I know he was here at the scene of the crime. I just have to find a way to prove it. Rebuttal. The thief you ran into should be a real suspect, wouldn't you say?
Hold it!
Actually, no, I wouldn't. Why not? That's elementary. The dying message, of course. Mr. Fate's killer very clearly left those letters on the spines of those files. It was after they were on there, that the thief stole one of them. You mean the 0 files, right? And that's how we also know the letters themselves were a setup and not from Mr. Fate. If the thief was the killer, do you think they would try to undermine themselves? Maybe the killer just didn't think of that either. Yeah, that must be it. Maybe, just maybe. We should be out there looking for the thief right now. They might have still be nearby.
Hold it!
Once escaped, I highly doubted the thief would linger nearby. Well, you never know. Maybe they didn't get what they were really after. Oh, you talk like you know quite a bit about this thief. It's nothing like that. I have no idea about anything after all. I hate to repeat myself, but as I've already said, I was training in my room. But there, you don't have evidence for that.
Hold it!
You don't have evidence. But according to Mr. Fate's note... Hold on, I thought we already cleared that up. Didn't we say that Jim left that note for me in the early evening? If you have proof that he left it at a different time, say, just before he was murdered. I don't have any, no. You see? So I insist again that I was in my office the entire time. And when Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was not criminal.
Hold it!
Why didn't you go there with Mr. Fate? That's because he said he was tired and was going to take a quick nap. You know, the sofas in the hallway, he likes to sleep on those. It's one of his habits. And what of the evidence he brought? They were things related to yesterday's case, just 2 items, a gun and a pendant. Interesting, this piece of testimony seems too crucial to let slip through the cracks. Okay, he brought me 2 items, a gun and a pendant that are related to yesterday's case.
Hold it!
A gun and a pendant? Yes, this gun which was the murder weapon. And this pendant which belonged to the victim. And why were you taking them to criminal affairs? There was something in a past case file I wanted to compare these two to. But all this has nothing to do with the case right now. Anyway, I believe you'll find that long paper trail I left to be to your satisfaction. This is all matching up with what Detective Gumshoe found out. I can't expect to know what happened around here after I left.
Hold it!
I can't expect you to know, can I? Nope, but I guess you can expect me to take a guess based on logical deductions. Oh, then let's see you deduce. Jim waited for me to leave and then stole the master key. For the purpose of sneaking into your room, of course. And that's when Miss Bird caught him red-handed and the murder occurred. So exactly as I'd laid out earlier. I know he's lying. I know he was here at the scene of the crime. I just have to find a way to prove it. Okay, so I'm thinking, where's the pendant one? Probably 2 items, a gun and a pendant that are related to yesterday's case. But the gun is the detective's gun, right? So it can't be evidence from yesterday's case. Issued to the victim and believed to be the murder weapon. Only 1 shot fired. Present.
Objection!
Okay, I must object to your line of logic. And which part do you have an objection to? It's yes, well. Oh god, this is not good. Why is the first case so hard already? I was cruising through with the other ace attorneys in the first case. This is strange. A gun and a pendant that are related to yesterday's case. Should I present this?
Objection!
Okay, no, it's not that.
Objection!
Okay, no. Oh, he got 3 pieces of evidence. Such a dumbass, bro. I'm actually like, this is horrible. I'm so horrible right now. Only 2 pieces? I believe the proper here is. You fail. Excuse me? You fail as a prosecutor, Mr. Postman, as you intend to keep evidence hidden from me. What are you talking about? I haven't hidden anything from you. Well, here's a piece I think you should read carefully. It says that Mr. Fate was bringing 3 pieces. Yes, and this is the victim's real dying message to you, Mr. Postman. I can't believe you get tripped up by a simple arithmetic. Where is the missing piece of evidence? Hide. You have it, don't you? Only the guilty would make such a face. Detective Gumshoe, you don't have to say it, sir. I'll pat the guy down from head to toe. Oh, don't come any closer, I'm warning you. This is all part of the investigation, pal, so don't even think about stopping me. No! Hey, what's this? He had this on him, sir. Despite what you said, it would appear that you do have something to hide. But why would he hide something like that? There's only one reason why anyone would hide evidence of this caliber. Because it would unequivocally point to the person himself as the real killer. Let's examine this videotape in a little more detail. For the section of the tape that will drive the last nail into his coffin. Oh, it's this blood, but I'm going to see the KG8 incident. The KG8 incident? That's a police case number, sir. Does that mean this video is evidence from that case? Interesting. However, what's recorded on this isn't what's important right now. Let's give the case thing a thorough once-over. It's the blood. Ah! That's blood, isn't it? Yes, and I believe this is what the good prosecutor was trying to hide from us. This blood is still fresh. You mean this might be Detective Fate's blood? No, you've got it all wrong. No amount of denial can save you. We have but to run a blood test to find the truth. You told us that you had received evidence from the victim earlier. Now you will tell us when and how did the victim's blood find its way onto the video. Yeah, it's totally suspicious. Was it at the moment of his death? Detective Fate have his videotape on his personage when you killed him? You know very well there's no way to prove that. Not even if we were to examine this tape for fingerprints? If I had to take a guess, I'll say that the only ones on here would belong to the murderous you and Mr. Fate. No, impossible. Oh, you ate your gold medal? What was that face? March 14, 5:47 AM. High Prosecutor's Office. It's room 1202. Mr. Portman has been placed under arrest for the murder of Detective Buddy Faith, sir. Very good. And the results we got back from the lab text and the tape turned out to be real solid, sir. The blood work came back. It is definitely Mr. Fate's blood on there. And as a bonus, they were also able to lift a few of Mr. Fate's fingerprints as well. Thank you so very much, Mr. Edgeworth. I still can't believe I get to see your cool deduction skills outside the courtroom. I'm impressed beyond words, sir. It was nothing. I'm just sorry you got caught up in a murder in my office. Please accept my apologies. The animations they've done is really good. Like they've taken all the animations from the previous stuff, but they've polished it so well. Oh, it was nothing really compared to what I've been through. I mean, I consider myself lucky that it was only a burglary and murder this time, sir. If it had been a hold-up or a hostage situation, I'd have thrown my hands up in the air. I think I'm finally rising up from a goddess of misfortune to just an unlucky person. Something tells me we should have hired a different person for security detail. You know something, sir? That Mr. Portsman really was one corrupt prosecutor. And why would you say he was corrupt? Well, I heard that there were a number of suspicious things he did to his court cases. There's even rumors about how some of the evidence he uses is forged, sir. Forged evidence, huh? And they say he even decided not to prosecute a few cases for some really vague reasons. Oh, that guy was a complete disgrace to the entire profession. I never did get around to asking what his reason was for breaking into my office. Yeah, whenever we got near that topic, he just clammed up. Although we can be pretty certain that it was to steal something. This is just between you and me, sir, but there's a rumor that some sort of huge organization is involved behind the scenes. Oh, well. Mr. Portsman is not ready to divulge anything. It certainly leads credence to that rumor. It would seem that we haven't heard the last of this. Huh? Mr. Portsman isn't the bad guy? I didn't say that, but rather, there are still many more mysteries for us to solve. For example, we still haven't figured out the significance of this piece of evidence. You mean this?
Take that!
The person who stole this file, the other villain of the night. Yeah, I wonder who it was. And what happened to the stolen pages? I wonder who in the world was it that held me up at gunpoint? Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Yes? I came across this while I was processing your office earlier, sir. This card. What is it, sir? Is that a bird or something on there? It's not just any bird. It is a mark of the raven, a three-legged raven. Even you should know what this is, detective. Oh, it's about that thing, isn't it? That great thief everyone's talking about. It is the mark of the great thief, Yatagarasu. Oh, that's a persona, which we have in Persona. It's a crow. Under the mark of a legendary bird, the Yatagarasu is noble to the end, a modern Robin Hood. Labeled mysterious and phantom-like, the Yatagarasu appears and vanishes at will. Noble vigilante of the business world reappears. Though we don't know much about this thief's ultimate goal, we do know the targets. Yatagarasu likes to find and make public evidence of corrupt dealings of all sorts. The theft is always performed in silence and always with perfection. Once a target is chosen, no dramatic calling card or announcement is sent forth. Instead, the chosen corporation is infiltrated without even the target noticing. Some days that is the evidence that is found is sent out to the mass media, or along with a single card. Although it has been a while since the Yatagarasu's last appearance. Hey, Mr. Edward, look, something's written on the back. What? Let me see. It's the location of where the thief put the stolen files. The person who stole the contents of the file was the Yatagarasu? Yatagarasu. Organization. Quite a few keywords are popping up in this mystery. The murder in my office. Man, there's a murder in your office, there's a murder in your car, there was a murder on the boat you won. My god, Edward, you have such bad luck as well. The return of the great thief, Yatagarasu. Looking back, I can't say I didn't see these events coming. But they were heralded by the incidents that began to occur 2 days ago. Oh, 2 days ago? The end. Ooh. Are we going back in time?